Yeah, I gotta fix my face.
Oh,
There we go. Face is fixed.
I'm over here thinking like I'm like this dude don't ever really care about cripping that much.
What?
That's make your face.
I mean, eh, maybe shave in between, but I should be good for this one.
That's what I thought. I was like, you don't never really care about shit that hard. What? Okay. That's why I made that face. X marks the spot. Did I say it right? I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Oh shit. So for y'all who are just tuning in, or for those of you all who do know, I do the movie quote. The next letter was X. Yeah, give me a movie quote that starts with X besides X marks the spot from apparently The Last Crusade with Indiana Jones.
Xavier, you should have killed me when you had the chance.
What is that from?
Well, I mean, I don't
Oh,
know if
you
he
making it
said.
up.
Well, the "you should have killed me when you had the chance" was definitely
Oh,
Magneto in X Men Legends 2.
oh, that's a
Not X
video.
Men Legends, not X Men Legends, X Men 2. My bad, X Men 2. When he was in the plastic prison or whatever, and Charles was realizing shit was going wrong, and he yelled, "You should have killed me when you had a chance." I don't know if he yelled Xavier before it, but I was just trying to think of a term, something involving Charles Xavier, and I know he yelled that at Xavier.
He always says he always called him Charles anyway, didn't he?
I don't know. He called him whatever.
I mean, you don't want to read X Men anyway. Before we
I'm
get
saying
into
he's
all
called
that,
him both. He calls him Charles more often, but I wanted
before
to
we
use
get
an
into all that,
Xavier thing.
so like I was saying, I do the movie quote thing. For those of you who do it don't know, next letter of the alphabet, this letter was X. If anybody can give me a movie quote that starts with X, besides apparently, I say apparently because I haven't seen the movie, X marks the spot from Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, because I had to look this one up heavily. Uh, then please in the comments give me a movie quote that starts with X. It could even be like xylophone or Xerox or some shit. Whatever. But give
Xenomorph.
me, yeah, there you go.
Something from the Alien
If they would have
franchise.
said something in Alien about the xenomorph, or not, see, you couldn't even have the xenomorph. That's T. So xenomorphs have big heads. I don't fucking know. So I hope I did the quote right, but there you go. Anyway, welcome to the Whatever We Want podcast. Tis I, one of your hosts, Jazz, aka Superjaz.
Superjaz.
Well, no, this is Hawkeye. Oops.
Hawkeye Jazz. Doesn't have
Hawk
the same
Jazz.
rinse to it.
Hawk Jazz. Sound like a
Hawker Jazz. Hawker Jazz.
Jazz. Anyway, Jazz, Super Jazz, SJ, JT, and I am, like as I said, one half of your host team for this show. The other half would be.
You know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis, Feogrande on YouTube, Giotavi on Twitch, Pete on this show occasionally, depending on how Jazz feels that day. And I'm here too. I thought I had more, but
You were like,
I'm doing good. Yeah, like, ran out of stuff to say.
and as we have stated before, for those of you all who are just now tuning in, or for those of you all who are coming back and joining us for another time, videos every Wednesday. First of all, that might be something I need to say more for every episode. For those who do or don't know, videos every Wednesday.
True.
But this is the Whatever We Want podcast, and the title is pretty self-explanatory. It is a podcast where we discuss and talk about whatever we want. We do just that. We have the conversation lead us. We don't lead it.
not gonna lie. That probably didn't hit as well as you wanted it to, because it was like cutting kind of in and out.
Mm.
But hilarious. The fucking air
Just
horn.
being silly. I don't know how what I
Yeah.
picked up for that.
Pretty much, we do rant. We usually talk about something and then just pretty much go off on whatever tangents we want to, or I might go off on a tangent and then Jazz co-signs on said tangent, and the conversation moves on to another thing.
Yeah. Sometimes we sign, sometimes we co-sign, sometimes we come up with an equation that is equivalent to pi.
It's like, I've got a hypotenuse for you. What if so and so
what if-
happens?
What if a squared plus b squared equal d squared?
Instead of c squared, like the actual equation.
Well, that was the fucking joke.
I know.
Like,
I was also more just laughing with it. But yes, I get it. D squared.
I'm laughing because you said it. You said it like, you idiot. It's like, that was the point. Like, what the fuck?
That was also the joke of what I was saying.
Okay. I'm trying to find
A better
something that I had that was prompt-ish. God damn it. This is very unprofessional.
Well, I mean, let's see. What is this? Episode 21. 21. Need you each. We're over here. We, what was it? 4 episodes ago, we started off talking about WWE firings, and boy, do we have more to talk about this time that I don't understand. Actually, one that I didn't understand out of the recent ones. You remember Tyler Breeze? So, do you remember Tyler Breeze?
Yeah, of course.
He got fired recently. And Fandango.
When the fuck did this happen?
Last week. Which is crazy because he's a big part of Up Up Down Down. But
that's why I was like, wait.
But in an even crazier move, fucking Xavier Woods still, because this is a week later, still putting up videos with them on Up Up Down Down, regardless. Even though, and it's not like it was pre-recorded, because they do a thing that they've done for the past year where they play Uno on Wednesdays. And I just recently checked the most recent episode. Yeah, the party. I recently checked the most recent episode, and they're like, and Xavier Woods is like, you thought it wasn't happening, but it's happening. The party day is still a thing. And Cesaro's like, for how much longer, though? I don't know, we'll see. And then they're like, just talking about stuff. And then they're like, so what do we call you to Tyler Breeze? And so this is definitely post him being fired. But they're still like, fuck it. We're putting videos on front of.
Well, I mean, this the thing. I get it though, because like at the end of the day, and again, apologies for people who could give a shit about wrestling, but but basically what's happening for y'all who don't know, like you said, is WWE since the whole way of 2020 and 2021. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not trying to say the word too much, but basically starts with a P. All that since that's like been happening, they have been having waves and waves randomly of people getting just released from the company. So
even
apparently
they don't need to, because they've been the most profitable ever.
So now he's talking about another person that just got released, who is part of I guess you could say, somewhat branch off subsidiary YouTube channel.
I mean, it's WWE has like control, has like rights over it. I think
they
Woods let them have it. Yeah,
but obviously they either letting them have it or they bought into it, or one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the wrestlers runs it, and then one of the wrestlers, like the dude that runs it, one of his good friends who is a wrestler, is prominently featured on this shit, and now apparently he just got let go.
I'll put it this way: the channel's called Up Up Down Down, and Tyler Breeze had a segment/championship called the Left Right Left Right. For those of you who don't know what those are references to, the code that's referred to as the Konami code from back in the day, there was this thing called the Nintendo Entertainment System. And, that was a video game console for you modern day people. But there were, like, some games on it made by a company called Konami where They had a code that was commonly in there. Cheat codes is something that you usually do in games. Now you can just probably buy the DLC. But there used to be this thing called cheat codes where you can kind of get around the rules of the game and stuff like that. And the Konami code pretty much was entered as up, up, down, down, left, right. And BA start was the original one. But
it was mainly used, I think, to get like more guns in Contra and shit.
Contra, like I think, is what most people know it from. It was more lives. Lives.
Okay. But yeah, so basically what we talk about is old dude gets released on a channel with several shows on the channel that he is like prominently featured on, and it's like, so how in the fuck do you keep a channel where it's not Tyler Breeze's channel, but he's a prominent fixture on said channel, but he's not a part of the company that the channel is under?
Right.
Because they even do the Battle of the Brands where they play the
and there was a new episode of that today.
And that's a big thing. That was like a runaway hit. Battle of the Brands, real quick, for people
the main thing I watch.
Same. Battle of the Brands, they went back, they played SmackDown versus Raw 06, and they played the GM mode where they do SmackDown versus Raw. One is general manager SmackDown, one's general manager Raw, and they're going head to head back in the day. But because of releases, if they had, because they make creative wrestlers back then of people now, and when the person that they were supposed to be making got released, they would either put in a new person or change the person's name because they couldn't have it. But now one of the released people is just hosts in the flesh, just playing the game. But what I was gonna say was,
I don't think it'll last long, or maybe he'll find some loophole to just hire him as part of the up, up, down, down crew.
That's what I was gonna say. What I was saying is at the end of the day, they can't really tell him that he can't necessarily associate with friends.
True. Or have a guest on, weekly guest. Yeah. Because he's had people from G4 and shit on there, so why not?
All they got to do is just like they say, just you can't call him Tyler Breeze because that's obviously, WWE.
Yeah, but it's a WWE channel.
It would be like if he got Chris Jericho on there. That's bad, maybe. But Tyler Breeze.
People were thinking, from what I saw in the comments, at the very least for this 90-day non-compete when he can't wrestle for another company. Why not? He's clearly still associated with things WWE because he can't be associated with anything else.
So does that mean that people are assuming after 90 days he won't be on the channel?
Possibly.
That much of it?
Possibly. No one knows. He could get the Samoa Joe treatment and get rehired right after his 90 days.
Or the fucking Drake Maverick treatment where it was like
in a week. In the first place? Yeah.
Drake
they
Maverick
turned it into a storyline.
He put out that fucking sobbing ass. My family, we just needed to make some money. And then he comes right back and he's like more featured on the show. What?
Yeah, they turned it into a storyline. They turned the sob video into a storyline. Like, well, if he's going to be, where it's like, if I know I'm going to be out of this company in X number of weeks, I'm going to try my best to, like, win this tournament, and try and keep my job. I'm like, you know what? Good on you, Drake. You found a way to keep your job.
And that's why to this day there's still speculation if Drake Maverick's releasing was fake.
I don't think it was.
I don't fully think it was, but I definitely could see how it could be.
If he was released by himself and then they did that, sure, but he was released with a bunch of other people.
You
know what I mean? It was part of the spring cleaning releases that they like to do.
That was the initial wave of releases during this shit. But I mean, shit, in Saw 2, it was a group trap with everybody, but spoiler alert for Saw 2.
Greetings. I'm sure you've read the title of the video for this week's episode, as well as heard what Jazz has just said. However, Jazz and Omari get a little loose-lipped and carried away with spoilers in this video, so here is a warning about spoilers for the following works: Saw Saw 2, The Prestige, the Purge series in general, Neon Genesis Evangelion, The End of Evangelion, yes, that's a separate listing, it is a movie title, Antoine Fisher, Bambi, The Lion King, National Lampoon's Vacation, Incredibles, Austin Powers series, and The Telltale Heart. This has been your spoiler alert. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the video.
But in Saw 2, it was a group trap for everybody, but at the end, Amanda was in on it the whole time.
Well, I mean, isn't that every Saw movie?
No, every Saw movie.
Because the first one's like, hey, all of you are going to die because I want to play a game. Surprise, I was in the room with you the whole time.
Spoiler alert, motherfucker.
Nigga, you already spoiler alerted.
I said for Saw 2.
Well, you know what? It's a 20-year-old movie. Who cares?
That's not fair. Not fair. Because I had the Prestige spoiled for me by somebody I like on YouTube, and now ain't no point in me seeing that shit. And then when I was like, dude, you ain't just spoiled the Prestige. He's like, it came out in 05 or 6 or whatever the fuck. I was like, and? So, fuck that.
You weren't going.
And apparently, according to one of my good friends who has seen the Prestige, apparently that twist is the shit.
I didn't even know the Prestige had a twist. Wasn't that the one about magicians?
Yeah. I haven't seen it, obviously. But yeah, you see, you didn't know it had a twist. And if I was to spoil it, you whether you care or not, it's still fucking 15 plus years old. I wasn't gonna watch it anyway,
but you got a point. I was just more saying like, well, whatever, you know, it's Saw 1. It's not like I spoiled Saw 20 or whatever the most recent one is.
Well, if you able to spoil Saw 20, fucking
whatever the most recent one is.
Let me know how 50-year-old Jazz looks.
Don't they come out with like one every other year?
They were doing a Saw every year up until Saw 7. They went from 04 up until 2010.
So they stopped at 7.
No, but and then how many years later, back in I want to say 2018, they came out with Jigsaw, which was the 8th one. And then they just recently came out with Spiral from the Book of Saw. That was the one starring Chris Rock with Sam Jackson. It's supposed to be a spinoff. It was Saw, but it's supposed to be a spinoff.
From the Book of Saw.
Spiral.
You gotta love it.
From the Book of Saw.
Yeah, they put out as many Saw movies as they put out Purge movies.
And this is my problem with the Purge now. Because since the whole Purge franchise, they've had the first Purge, and then the original Purge is called The Purge. So now if you say the first Purge, you could be talking about the first movie, or you could be talking about like the fourth or fifth.
Fucking Fast and Furious shit.
Because it was the Purge, Purge Anarchy, Purge Election Year, the first Purge, which is supposed to be a prequel to how like the Purge started. And now they have the Endless Purge or
Forever.
The Forever Purge.
Purge.
Forever
which,
Purge.
I mean,
dumb in a bitch.
All right. This is the last one, right? Kind of has to be. I mean, where do you go from this? Yeah, where do you go from this? Like, and why are there so many purges? The whole point of the first movie was this doesn't work. We don't need to do this.
For anybody, first of all, who, because I think the last one I saw was Election Year, which wasn't bad. And then after Election Year, I was like, and they made another one. I was like, I'm done. At least for now. But this was my whole thing with the Purge movies. The original Purge, not the first Purge, because I can't say that anymore. The original Purge is terrible. Ethan Hawke did a good enough job, but the movie itself was pretty bad, man. So the Purge Anarchy, which is the second one, which almost acts like the original one didn't exist. If we could just pretend like the Purge Anarchy was the original Purge, there we go. It's a 2-movie or 4-movie like series, and the original one didn't happen. Because the original Purge movie focuses on one family, which, okay, cool, but one family and like one dude trying to get in. I think Nostalgia Critics, shout out to him, I think he like made fun of it because it's like some dude who is like obsessed with him and his friends, right? Trying to kill his family. We just wanna purge. Let us Purge, please. It's like, what the fuck?
This dude is so over the top.
Yes.
Although I kind of like over the top people. They're hilarious to me. It just depends on the setting.
The second one, The Purge Anarchy, focuses on a few people trying to survive the night. And they team up with, it's like a few people who are out of the element. And then there's one dude who like has training and doesn't like it, but he knows what's going on. And you can tell like he's a good dude and shit. So it's like they team together and it's about these people who just want to survive the night. That was a much better idea. The Purge election year is something like, I think people are trying to get elected. One dude wants to keep, if I remember correctly, one dude wants to keep the Purge going. Some woman, and then obviously it being a woman, there's like the whole thing of women in office and shit like that. Like I think she wants to stop the Purge, and it's like all this shit. And then there's just like the militant group because
apparently she didn't succeed because now we have the forever Purge.
No. I mean, I think spoiler alert if I'm right, because I could be wrong, but I feel like at one point in there they fucking like shoot her in the fucking face. So there you go. But no, yeah, but then like, yeah, the first Purge, which is the prequel, and now the Forever Purge, which I don't even know if I want. This motherfucker with a fucking Southern accent on a fucking horse. This is the Forever Purge. Like, the fuck is this shit, man?
It is stupid. Like, that's what it is. But back to the guy that was over the top, and what I was saying about that, it's like, if you're going to act badly, that's the route to go. That's the route to go for me. Over the top. Be considered bad because you were too invested or overdone. Because at least you're memorable for that. Like, this crazy motherfucker in this movie. Did he get another job? No, but look at this. That guy might have. I don't know who that was. But just the idea of like, did that dude get another job? No, but that dude in that movie, because then that's when you get your fucking cult classic people watching. They're like, oh, here's my dude. Look at my dude right here. We just want to Purge. So I'm always more a fan of overacting than I am underacting or bad, just terrible. And for people to be like, what qualifications do you have? None really, except I consider myself an actor.
You are an actor. What was I gonna say? But like, okay, for instance, like you give me your opinion on this.
All right.
Some people say one way. I think most people don't. But do you think that Jim Carrey is an overactor?
Depends on the movie.
And the reason why I say that is he makes it work whether he is or isn't. But do you think he's an overactor?
I say it depends on the movie because Jim Carrey is someone that I really enjoy watching. Like, in some of his comedies and stuff, like, let's say the golden age of Jim Carrey back in the 90s and stuff, like,
he was like killing.
I love me some of those older movies. Like, Ace Ventura 1, I thought was good. Ace Ventura 2, I thought he went a little bit, well, maybe 2 or 3. I don't remember. I remember not liking it as much as I liked the first one as a kid, if I remember correctly, because I thought he went a little bit too, like, aha, these are the gags. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Jim Carrey, so people want me to act weird. You know what I mean?
Liked the sequel as much as the original. Nobody did.
But
I didn't see the sequel with you.
Yeah, and I don't remember it well enough, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that I didn't like it. But there are other movies, like, when he needs to act serious in movies, in most movies where he acts serious, he's not overacting at all. He gets more with the hammingness when he's in his comedy shit, especially when the whole point of the comedy is look how wacky Jim Carrey is. Some people could say him in The Mask at certain points could be a little overdoing it, but that's also the style of the movie.
That's why I was saying that I go back and forth. I don't really agree. I see where people are coming from, and I see why they would say that. But I don't really agree that it's overacting, because when you get to Ace Ventura and all that craziness, when you get to The Mask and what the putting on the mask needed to be, when you get to the I'm fighting the lies and liar, liar.
I thought the liar, liar was fine.
But I'm saying, how else would you act those parts? So that's why I'm like, I get why people say it's overacting.
Yeah, well, The Mask, he's literally a cartoon character.
Yeah, so it's like I get why people say it's overacting. I get why people say that. But how else would you act? How else are you supposed to do this?
Yeah. Like, I will say, Dr. Eggman in the recent Sonic movie, or Dr. Robotnik, whichever one they chose for that movie, but him playing that role was a lot more him playing Jim Carrey dressed as that dude than he was playing Dr. Robotnik.
This is
That
true.
said, that said, I fucking enjoyed it, and he was the best part of that movie.
Like the Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Who saw that? I did. Why? Go
yeah,
look at
please
one
tell
of
me
my
about it because I don't know shit about that one.
go look at one of my early movie review shows that I tried to get off with one of my good friends. Yes, we paid to see it. We had 2 videos. I think that was the second. But the Incredible Burt I'm serious. It was like
that
a podcast movie review. It was the Incredible Burt Wonderstone, but Jim Carrey is like he's like a mock Chris Angel because they're talking about magicians, and because he's so over the top. I love the Chris Angel, but he's so over the top where he's just like, nah, I'm gonna do this next. Yeah, and it's just like everything is look how crazy I am with the shit that I could do with oh man. But he was being over the top Jim Carrey in there. Like there's one part where he asked the dude like, okay, I'm gonna guess your card, pick a card. Then he gets this dude to punch him hard as fuck in the face. His face swells up. He takes a knife, cuts that open, pulls it out, and that's the fucking card. Like, what the fuck? Then you see, like, the next scene, he's stitching his face back up.
Like, to go to also to your point about does he or does he not overact and does it really fucking matter? You know, how can you really tell? How else are you supposed to do? People also have to realize, especially when you get to the status that he has at this point.
Right, he's A-list, yeah.
Typecasting, well, that too, but typecasting is a thing. 9 times out of 10, like, when you are a known name, and especially in comedy, people are getting you because they want you to be that over-the-top dude for this. They're like, this is a Jim Carrey type of character. Let me go see if Jim Carrey wants to play that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because they're like, no, we want Jim Carrey because we saw this as a Jim Carrey type of person. Or fucking... I remember John C. McGinley, who did Dr. Cox on Scrubs, said that, and I saw like an early interview of him, of like, apparently he showed up to the audition because he heard about the part of Dr. Cox. And it said, and in the description, it's like a John McGinley type character. And he showed up and he's like, well, I don't know what type I am, but...
That is hilarious. The role that he ended up getting said
like I heard that. I don't know if he was joking about it or not, but I heard that once from him. Like, I don't know what type I am, but
see, then you end up running down into a different thing, right? Because John C. McGinley, because he played like, okay, when it comes to certain roles like a Dr. Cox, where they're kind of so specific. Scene stealing. Dr. Cox was a scene stealer with every scene he was in, let's be honest.
Maybe you should have watched the show.
Scene stealing, so good at it, so like, you know, such like specialized that you run the risk of hurting your career in a sense because nobody can see you as nothing else. Like McLovin or like
Jaleel White.
Huh?
Jaleel
White. Yeah, Jaleel White, Urkel, right.
He acted so well that he acted his character into being an actual part of the show instead of a one-off. He did such a good job. He went from being a one-off character gag to the pretty much main reason people watch the show into nobody's going to hire you anymore because they only see you as Urkel.
It's not like you said Okra.
But yeah, Urkel. Unless they use your voice to be Sonic.
Yeah. And his voice works so good for Sonic too. Yeah. It really did. But anyway, that's what I mean. Like, for instance, does anybody out there besides maybe me and a few other people who watch a lot of movies for no reason know the actual name of the actor who played McLovin? No. It's Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
might
have
know that.
remembered that anyway.
Exactly.
But like I've seen him in other shit, and he does a good job. Like I can see him as someone who can do stuff other than the McLovin thing,
But McLovin was so
but it
specialized.
worked. Yeah, and
He
then
did
that's
such
the
a good
thing. Yeah,
job.
you have to like. I feel like, especially if you're going to do something like that, you have to accept the fact that if you do well enough, you could be typecast.
And
And
that's
then
the
once
thing.
that happens, that's where you have to have your choice of, do I take the continued success in this typecast thing, or do I want to risk losing all of that because I insist on trying to show I'm different and no one's trying to see me be different? Like your
Well, like
Michael
okay,
Cera's, he got typecast
yeah,
as, he's been George Michael his whole fucking life,
yeah,
and he seems fine with it because he keeps showing up as George Michael and whatever the fuck he
yeah.
wants.
That's a good point. Because shit, I forget around exactly. I want to say the
It took
late
Leo
2000s.
forever to break out of his typecasting.
What is a pretty boy?
Yeah, the pretty boy, like teenage, well, the pretty boy heartthrob, let's root for this guy. Like Titanic guy and Django guy are completely different people. Jack and Candyman, or whatever the hell his name was. Not Candyman, but
Calvin Candy.
Calvin Candy. Yeah. They're two different characters.
Which is funny because if you look at Leo in What's Eating Gilbert Grape when he was about 18, 19 years old, that's a very different role.
Oh, I'm sure, but
Speaking of still in the scene. But once he got into the pretty boy, thing.
that's what people wanted.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get into it too, like going back to Jim Carrey, we were talking about Jim Carrey being typecast. He broke the typecast with the Truman Show. Because up until that point, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Liar, Liar, Ace Ventura
too.
They were all kind of the same. And he did the Truman Show, which was like a much more serious. He didn't act over the top any point in that movie, I don't think.
And that's what I was saying about the whole, when I said overacting, you get him in a serious role and he works. Like early on, he was a little Jim Carrey because he was still the guy that's just like, if I don't see you again, but once the plot starts kicking in, no, you actually get the serious side and like, oh, this motherfucker can act.
Right. And that,
which you knew before, but people
Mhm.
don't respect comedic acting as well as they do serious acting.
Which
and
is a shame.
that's crazy because it is
Okay.
harder to make people laugh than it is to make them cry. If I want to make you cry, I'll just like punch you in the face or shoot a puppy in front of you. I'm not going to shoot a puppy.
Or shoot
But
a
that's something
puppy.
that would be sad.
Or shoot a puppy. Okay.
Would that not be sad to see a puppy get shot?
It would be shocking. Yes, it would be sad. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all I'm trying to
Pause.
say.
The pause that you took. You were just like,
No, give me a yes or no. Is it sad or not? But no, yes. But obviously, I wouldn't. I love puppies too much. That would make me sad. I would not want to do that. However, my point is. And now we're laughing at it. Are you sure it'd be sad? Look, I'll laugh at sad shit if I think it's
now we're
funny
laughing
enough.
at the probability of shooting a funny puppy.
I'll laugh at sad shit if I think it's funny enough or well delivered. And the timing's right. And people are like, "What's wrong with you? You don't see this?" Fucking. Oh god, we're just spoiler city about everything today.
We're gonna have to just call this one
spoiler warning.
F21, and just the title is just spoiler alert. That's it.
F21 spoiler alert, or I just put up another one of those graphics.
Oh yeah.
This has spoilers for the following whatever. Although that one was because we didn't say it at all in the video.
Oh, for One Piece.
When we did the quizzes for Avatar and One Piece.
Duh, like it's gonna be spoilers. We should have said something. We didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Go check that episode out too, by the way. Anyway, we gonna say though. You got to bring up something that made us say this on spoiler shit.
You ever seen Evangelion? It's an anime. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
No.
It's a
You can
classic
spoil that for me.
series.
I'm probably not gonna see it.
It's a classic series. All right, so spoiler alert for people out there.
myself included, but I don't care.
So Evangelion is a series about this kid named Shinji, and he didn't know us. But just so you get an idea where we go into the movie, just a premise of the thing, since you never heard of it. Pretty much, kid named Shinji, like 15 years old, gets thrust into a situation where his dad, who hadn't really talked to him his whole life, calls him one day like, "Yo, come here." And he's like, "All right, I guess I'm going to see my dad, who's the head of some corporation, and my mom died a long time ago too, but whatever." And the dad's like, "Hey, Shinji, long time no see. See this robot over there? Yeah, get in the robot." "What?" "Angels are attacking the city. Get in the fucking robot and save the city." I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Like, what? Get in the fucking robot, Shinji. We ain't got time for this shit. What the hell? No, I don't know. And then someone else is like,
his mom's dead?
His mom's dead, yes. And his dad's just an asshole, just like sits here like this. And he's like, "Get in the fucking robot." And some like lady assistant's like, "You really should probably get in that robot, Shinji." "No, but I don't understand the first thing about getting a robot." "All right, well, you're not gonna get in the robot. You see this little girl over here? This little submissive ass, quiet ass, blue haired chick, Ray? She's like all injured and wrapped up in bandages. She's gonna get in the robot if you don't get in the fucking robot." She's been getting in robots and now she's injured. Are you gonna get in this fucking robot? You know, which people give Shinji a lot of shit because pretty much that whole series is shit getting thrown upon Shinji about the robots. I'm highly oversimplifying it, obviously, but that's pretty much what the first episode is Shinji getting the fucking robot. And the majority of the series is shit because the series deals a lot with psychological shit as well as anime shit on top of it. But the idea is you see this kid get his mind broken throughout the entire fucking series. Anyway, there's this movie. The series ended in a way the fans didn't like. And when I say the fans didn't like it, I mean death threats.
Damn. People need to chill the fuck out.
Right? Anyway. I agree with you on that. Because I didn't watch a lot of Evangelion back in the past when it first ran or anything. But it was so bad, they made a movie called End of Evangelion, where they took the last 2 episodes, said that's not the actual ending. This movie is the actual ending of the series. And boy, I had not watched any of Evangelion. The first thing I ever saw Evangelion of actually watching it was End of. And I was watching it with some friends. After being at a cafeteria, hearing a guy, kind of like I go off about things that I watched before, just like, "You remember this part, ha 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 ha." I saw a guy do that, and he had the whole background information on things about the death threats and shit like that, and how that led to some decisions made in the movie. So the main chick character is not the blue-haired chick, it's an orange-haired chick called Asuka. She's like the exact opposite of blue-haired chick. You got the submissive, quiet one, and you got the loud, bitchy one. She's the loud, bitchy one. Nobody was ready for her, except in this movie, apparently. Because let me tell you, one of the things people complained about. The movie goes, Asuka's like fighting some fucking angels. That's what the main enemies are called. They're called angels because reasons. Asuka's fighting them. Real cool, badass scene. She's like getting hurt. She's still going, and it looks like she's gonna do it. And she gets killed. She dies. And she dies brutally. And I laughed my ass off. And you want to know why I laughed my ass off? Because I knew part of the complaints people had about the series, apparently, was there wasn't enough Asuka action. Why didn't you have enough scenes where Asuka was doing shit? What the fuck?
So they were like,
and so the writer apparently was like, "Oh, you want some Asuka action? Here's your Asuka action. Look at Asuka be cool. Yeah, she's cool? Well, she's dead now, motherfucker." And there ain't no her coming back, because she's getting stabbed like 80 fucking times and then stabbed through the fucking face. She is fucking dead. Fucking deal with it. This is my story. Don't tell me how to write this shit. So that's pretty much what that scene was. And so when she died, I'm laughing my ass off because I have no emotional attachment to this character. And my friends are like, "What the fuck, you nihilistic asshole?" Because this is freshman year. They barely knew me, that much. And I'm like, did you guys not hear the whole backstory of why this scene is a thing? That's fucking hilarious that he felt he needed to drive it home that much of don't tell me how to write my story that he did this. Also, there's this big emotional scene later in the movie where people are literally exploding left and right while there's a giant ass version of Ray floating above the planet that gets killed and gets cut in half, and you just see like Ray's face. It was smiling, but it got cut in half, so you just see half of the smiling Ray face. And there's a big emotional scene. All the characters, damn near, that people have grown attached to throughout this series, dying left and right, exploding, having heartwarming moments. But like every 2 or 3 minutes, or every 30 seconds or so, they cut back to the fucking smiling Ray face.
It's not like a brutal ass anime.
It's a classic. Anyway, so they keep cutting back to this smiling Ray face, and the third time, I just lost it. I just started laughing because I had noticed they kept cutting back to the Ray face. It's the rule of threes in comedy, you know. Either something's only funny 3 times, or it's funny starting the third time. And once it hit the third time, I was like, oh my god, they cut back to the Ray face. What are you doing? Do you not realize that they keep cutting back to this exact same shot of this smiling Ray face? Like, why are they doing that? But that's what I was saying. Sad shit can happen, and I'll laugh at it just because of the way it's presented to me and the timing of it all. That the fucking smiling Ray face. That's when my friend started. That's when my friend Abe. I'll call him Abe because he looked like Abe Lincoln. That's when he started calling me nihilistic asshole because I was laughing at the smiling Ray thing, and I was like, I don't even know what nihilistic means. But if you can't laugh at the fact that they have shown this same fucking shot like 5 times, I don't know what we're watching. I don't think we're watching the same thing exactly.
So basically, you just told the whole story about how you're a sociopath.
I'm not a sociopath. I cried when Mufasa died. Okay.
I don't remember if I did.
I was a kid, so I more than likely cried when Mufasa died.
You can't assume.
I cried in One Piece. I told you about One Piece when I was like crying, or not crying, but very close to, and it hits me when it happens with a certain scene. So, no, I can feel sadness. But if something's funny, it's funny. I'm sorry, it could be comedically well. If it's comedically well timed and I noticed it in that moment, I'm going to laugh.
This motherfucker be watching Antoine Fisher. We are spoiling everything, even though I haven't seen the whole movie. I know parts of it, but the Antoine Fisher, when he finally like gets away, he's like, "I'm still here. I'm still standing." He's like, "Ah ha 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 ha."
Oh, did he die after that?
No, I don't know if he died after that, but he had a rough life. I think I need to see that movie because it's like really moving, but I haven't seen it for whatever reason.
I've not seen Bambi since I was a kid, but I did say at high school, because people talk about me not crying enough in movies and laughing at stuff. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. If I go back and watch Bambi, which I really don't want to, the movie seems like it's boring as shit. But the whole classic moment in Bambi, if you don't know this, then it's not even a spoiler. It shouldn't be. It's like saying Luke Skywalker
I don't remember
is what you
the
call
movie. I know that part. When the mom...
Yeah, the mom dies. All right,
that's
so...
funny to you?
Well, I don't know. That's what I was trying to say. Depending on how that scene plays out, if the timing of the bullets, like, with the... Because... if the movie's supposed to be... People get shot in comedies all the time and everybody laughs at it because of the timing, right?
Yes.
Okay, if it's timed like that in the movie, I will probably laugh. That's all I was saying.
My
That's all I was saying.
My English teacher when I was in high school, rest in peace, he since passed away, great guy. But he said something to me that I still think about. He said, comedy and tragedy are the same thing. And if you think about it, they really are. It's just all about how it's presented. Because you just said people get shot in the face, it's just about the timing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mentioned Nostalgia Critic earlier, and one of his main things that he likes to say is that comedy is based off of misery.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing. Like if you think about well, okay, for instance, I just finally watched all the way through, and I really thought it was not gonna be as hilarious as it really fucking was. But I watched last night, really, like just last night, National Lampoon's Vacation that came out back in like 84, 85. Fucking hilarious. But the movie's fucking hilarious. But if you really want to, you could take, that's what I say, they're the same thing, it's just how it's presented. You could take a family getting lost on a road trip and all the shit that they go into and all the bullshit that happens and package it a whole different way, and it would be fucking like a tragedy like a motherfucker.
What?
Oh, this poor family, they can't find their way. And spoiler alert, we just spoiled everything else. The aunt dies and like, oh my God, and all this shit. So it would be fucking tragedy as fuck. Yeah. But they package it in a way where I was at night trying to stifle my laugh because how loud I was laughing. So it's the same shit. It's just about how you package it. So yeah.
Also, like there was a YouTube channel a while back. I remember seeing. I don't remember who they were, but shout outs, I suppose. They found. I'll mention the video I saw at least. It was the Incredibles trailer, but it was like different trailers for different movie styles, and they had like 8 different types of movies, all using footage from the same Incredibles thing, but just presented a different thing. Horror, rom-com, fucking cheating type movie thing, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, because you have all these plot things, but you can just present the movie how, depending on how you cut stuff and deliver the tone of it. It's like, oh, this movie hit different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's,
also, the show Ridiculousness. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's pretty much just a clip show of funny shit. It is, my roommate and I's like standby. It's the old reliable. If there's nothing else on TV, MTV started showing that shit like 20 hours out of the 24-hour day. But it's like, let's turn on some ridiculousness. Yeah. A lot of those videos on there are people getting fucked up.
Fucked up
hard. And you think they you think they laughing? You think they family initially when it happened was laughing? No, but that shit was funny.
Scorpion shit. You know the scorpion thing where your legs go over your fucking head because you were fucking face planted so hard. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's just so funny. Like for instance, I came across something on it was either Twitter or Facebook where they were talking about this girl apparently was like in college, I guess, and she had to do like a 1-minute monologue, and the teacher didn't care wherever it came from. So she did, and nobody caught on. It had to be like a serious dramatic monologue. She did Dr. Evil's monologue from Austin Powers, where he was like, my father, he used to, he would ramble on about he invented the question mark, you know, when they were in like, I think group therapy, and Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, was like the one who was overseeing it. And she was like, he would ramble on about he invented the question mark, and we would vacation in here and here. And when I was, what do you say? When I was insulin, they would put me in a burlap sack and beat me with reeds. But she did this whole like take on it
in a serious tone.
She read it dramatically and made it sound sad as fuck.
Yeah.
She was like, my father would drink and then he would ramble on about inventing the question mark and then, you know, whatever. And then she even paused like she was remembering a terrible memory. When I got in trouble, they would put me in a burlap sack and beat me with reeds. And it's just like, you really interpreted this shit? So yeah. That is so funny how that works. I don't know. It's just
don't call me no fucking sociopath.
Well, okay. No, you're clearly not a sociopath.
Mike Myers took a fucking serious thing about drunkitude to being beaten in a burlap sack with reeds and turned it into a fucking comedic classic.
Do you know basically what a sociopath is? There's so much debate on what it is anyway, though.
No. Which probably makes people think I'm even more of one because I don't have one. It's that whole stupid warped logic like, oh, if you don't think you're insane, you are. What? Only insane people don't question their sanity. Or, you know, I wake up in the morning and don't think I'm going to, like, fucking shoot up a place or be
Shoot a
fucking
puppy.
murder thing, yeah, or shoot a puppy. I don't wake up in the morning planning to do this shit, or wake up in the morning like, oh, today my favorite flavor is purple, and I'm gonna fucking go outside naked and run upside down. No, I don't wake up like that. Am I insane because I don't want to do that every day? No. That said, I am perfectly sane.
Shout out to one of my favorite authors, even though I hate saying that because if you know about him, it's like ill. But Edgar Allan Poe. And the reason why I say ill, well, first of all, the reason why I say shout out is The Telltale Heart. The Telltale Heart is so good. We studied it when I was in English class back in middle school, 7th grade, I believe. And The Telltale Heart, one of the things that you learn in the story is that the main dude who we just spoiling everything. Like, again,
I mean,
that's
they probably don't even fucking teach Poe anymore after more and more shit came out about how weird that man is.
I'm just laughing because, like you said, this is the spoilerific episode.
Oh yeah.
But after the dude commits the murder and shit, but while before he does it, in The Telltale Heart, he spends the whole time saying, "So clearly, if I set everything up this way, how could you say that I'm insane? And obviously, if I'm doing that, one could not say I was insane." So obviously, his whole thing is basically, we talked about it, at any time somebody will go through this much length to say I'm not insane.
Yeah. Now, if you're going way too far, to try and prove your sanity, you might be at least a little insane. It's kind of like back in the day when I eventually realized one of my older telltale signs that I was drunk. Now I don't do it as much, but I used to get to the point when I was drinking that I would try to go out of my way to prove I wasn't drunk.
Well, you're not the only one.
And once I did that, but I'm saying once I got to that point, I was like, I realized that once I started getting to that point, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm probably gone.
Good on you for realizing that that's what you were doing, because pretty much
a while. But yes.
Well, most people that I've been around who do end up drinking, that's the one thing they always try to do, is they try to be like, I'm not drunk. See, hey, I can touch my nose. And it's just like, dude, no.
No, I eventually turned it, once I started realizing, I just started to turn it into a gag where I'm just like, I start listing symptoms for other stuff that had nothing to do with it. Just like, do my eyes look bloodshot to you? Do I have dilated pupils? Huh? I'm not drunk. Like, that's got nothing to do with being drunk, Omari. Shut up.
I get it.
Give me another shot.
What was I saying? No, but the reason why I say Edgar Allan Poe, how I like Edgar Allan Poe is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, like authors. Not like my favorite book or whatever, but authors as far as like collections of things that he's written.
I used to be a Poe fan myself.
But I always am like, because the man was a fucking genius, especially with just like, even if you take out the macabre period, but even if you take that out, he was just a genius without he could create imagery with his words and shit, right? But that motherfucking poem, Annabelle Lee, that he wrote, which is romantically one of, some beautiful shit. But the man wrote it about when he was about 31, 30 some shit, and he was in love with his 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah, see, shit like that.
And that is why I'm just like, I ain't got to know any more about you. You were 30 and you were in love with your 13-year-old cousin.
Exactly. And that's part of that whole, never meet your idols type shit like that. And I will say, putting people and works of art on a pedestal, probably not something you should do. You should probably realize that they have just as much potential to be fucked up as everybody else.
Well, people
but
are
damn,
people. That's one thing we forget.
Huh?
I said people are people. That's one thing we forget.
That's what I'm saying. They have just as much potential to be fucked up as anybody else. And also, you can just look at them from what they are. This is a damn good writer. I don't. But he did it. I didn't say he was a good person. I said he's a good writer. I said that this is a good piece of work over here. This is some good music, despite what this person has been accused of. Despite some accusers saying other stuff and blah blah blah. This is some good ass songs. You know what I mean? It's like, but do you know what the artist did? I'm not saying shit about the artist. I said this is a good ass song. Or if I say anything about the artist, I'm saying that artist knew what he was doing when he made this song. Or piece of art. Separating art from the artist. But I feel like there would be very little art if we just tried to get the purest of Puritans to make stuff. Especially, and I don't mean people that just say, but I've never done so and so. My art's just as good, and that's why they're shitting on people like me. I see where you're coming from, but not every single one of you people saying that is as pure as you're claiming. You're just mad that you don't have that spotlight, and that's fine. Be mad you don't have the spotlight.
Most of the time it is that,
I'm mad I don't have a spotlight, but I'm a weirdo.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, I mean, you know, some stuff is like inexcusable, like some stuff is, but for the most part, yeah, I'm with you on that. And without going into but it is July 1st, 2021, and something just recently happened with another big time, huge name, basically, yeah, read between the lines, people. And yeah, we're not gonna really discuss that right now because we're winding to an end. But yeah, so can you separate, or do you even care to? I guess. But as far as keeping them separated, shout out to the offspring, or not caring to. As far as that, please don't separate yourselves from the Whatever We Want podcast or any of our episodes going forward, because we would love to have you. And if you would also like to not separate yourselves from any more links to find your boy, then you can go ahead and check me out on Facebook. You can go ahead and like the page. That would be on Facebook. Go ahead and like Superjaz. That would be Superjaz. You can go ahead, find me, follow me on Twitter, Superjaz2. So that would be Superjaz number 2. And then also you can look me up on Instagram, which would be Forever Super Jazz, the word forever spelled correctly. And I am a rapper. From time to time, I get down with the MC thing. So anywhere you stream your music, you can look up and find my EP, Too Much Free Time. All words spelled correctly. You may have to type in Too Much Free Time, Superjaz, because I'm not really known worth shit right now. And keep looking out for my Secret Identity, which is going to be my debut album. But in the meantime, between time, enough about me. What you got, Pete?
Yeah, y'all know y'all can find me here. You can also find me, as I stated earlier, on YouTube under Feogrande. That is Feogrande. Hopefully I'm actually showing it this time. Half the time I don't actually show it. I probably didn't show it.
You did.
All right, it's on the hat. Feogrande, but it's all one word on YouTube. Also, Twitter/Twitch, Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Spelled that way, named after a character from a book that will never be published. Don't worry about it. I mean, if anyone has the authority on saying that, it's me. But yeah, that's where you can find me. You know, on the YouTube channel, you talk about random stuff. I have a lot of videos up there. I have some ideas for some videos in the future. I just have a current project that I'm working on that has been the biggest of roadblocks for me. But it does involve your boy Superjaz, because we're talking about Dragon Ball Z and all the stuff. And, you know, while you wait on that video and everything to come after it, playlist on the channel where you can watch us talk about DBZ movies all the time. Spoiler alert already right now, because I don't think we ever say spoiler alert in those, but it's been
we should reviewed. Have to with those.
Yeah, those are reviews, so. But yeah, check us out.
And when you all are checking us out, I'm at a little bit of a loss. Maybe you can help me, my man.
What's up?
As far as the next episode, What the fuck are we gonna talk about?
Whatever we want.
Peace, y'all.
Adios, this.